So if you have your general ed done before you enter the nursing program, it makes your life easier. You know, it's not that there's any requirements or regulations to keep you from doing it, but it'll just make your life, trust me, easier. Otherwise, if you don't, it means you have to do your general ed at the end of your nursing program. And usually the way that most nursing students try to work, you do your general ed, get that done, go into the nursing program, finish that, then take your licensing exam while everything is fresh, and then you can practice when you're done, versus having to take all this general ed at the end and try to remember what you just went through, 6 months ago. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so for the other 2-year programs, you would have to check those websites. Now, for the 4-year program, what this grid is,
algebra, math, science, prerequisite, but if you've taken statistics, will that count, or do you have to go back?
Yeah, if there's a higher level math, they'll clear you.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's only if it's lower that there's a problem. So you can always go higher, just not lower.
For the Division 4 requirement sheet, so for last year, the 2008, the requirement for psychology was 210, and now they changed it to 101. Is that the same course, or would I have to?
No, it's the same course, so that's actually a good question. So if you don't know, Psychology 210, they changed the number to 101, but it's the same course, and so there won't be a problem with that. Okay, so on the nursing grid, this is for transfer. So these are the prerequisites for our most popular CSUs. These aren't all of them. There's also at the bottom on the second page 3 of the private schools. Now sometimes you hear that St. Mary's has a program. So I don't know if any of you heard that. St. Mary's program is really a partnership with Samuel Merritt. So Samuel Merritt, if you're not familiar, the kind of coursework that they have there is more medically or healthcare related. So they don't have the general ed for the degree, but they offer the bachelor's degree. So basically you're doing your general ed at St. Mary's and the nursing at Samuel Merritt. And that's how the degree is combined. Same with Mills. So they have Samuel Merritt as a partnership with Mills too. Same thing. So the general ed is at the university so that you get all of that for the bachelor's degree. The nursing part of it comes from Samuel Merritt. The general ed for the CSUs, not the private schools, on the yellow sheet. And you can double count. So it doesn't have to take you a whole long time if you are strategic in your course selection. So an example is, if you take a look at Chico, because that's on the first line, and for your prerequisites for nursing, you have to have nutrition. So if you open up and look under Area E, you'll see the same nutrition. So if you take your general ed sheet and highlight the common courses, you can satisfy GE and the prerequisites for nursing at the same time. Okay? Does that make sense? And remember that to finish up the general ed in your final spring. So don't worry about finishing it up all the way up to the fall transfer. You want to use spring for some of your general ed if you need to be enrolled full-time, all the time. Now, for CSUs, you have to apply a whole year in advance. So our students are getting ready to apply now for transfer for fall 2010. For the university, it opened last week, October 1st, and they will close November 30th. That's for the university application. I went to the CSU conference last week. What they said was because of budget cuts, they're having to restrict enrollment, so they are being hard and fast on those deadlines. October 1st, they will close November 30th. It is important, though, if you can, to apply during the month of October. The reason for that is there are some campuses that are impacted, like San Diego State. San Diego State is a high-demand campus for every single major. So what happens is when you apply to San Diego State, not only do you have to apply to their university and their nursing program, but then they have a supplemental application for admissions. They will only send that to you after you apply. So if you wait till the 30th, then you're not going to get the supplemental before the deadline. So if you do it in October, it gives you plenty of time. So when you're planning out your courses, you are planning out a year in advance for the public schools. Okay, does that make sense? All right, so that means when you're planning your TEAS test, when you're planning your coursework, when you're looking at your volunteer experience, you need to keep that in mind. At this point, for a fall transfer, that kind of work needs to be done. So when they talk about prerequisites a year in advance, they're talking about the courses that are listed here generally. Okay, questions on that so far?
I want to clarify something about psychomerit in psychology. I applied this year, and when I applied, I required Psych 200. I'm just wondering, is this a change?
It's a brand new course.
What is?
Yeah.
It's equivalent of contra-costa.
It's a lifespan. In the past, we never had, for nursing, usually you know lifespan psychology. We never had one, but now we do.
Contra Costa had one. That was the only one of them.
So Psych is changing its name in the coming term?
It's a brand new course.
But, I mean, why is it Psych 101 here?
Psych 101 is a different course.
But we weren't required to take Psych 101. I'm just wondering, why is this now Psych 101?
We talked about that actually today in the counselors meeting, and we're going to actually get that changed
So it's 200?
to 200.
Okay.
But we need to have a conversation with Sam and Merrick to confirm. Okay, but for now, it wouldn't be, I think they would accept our 101 because we didn't have a 200, but they are unaware that we now have a 200.
Actually, they're aware. I let them know.
Oh,
They
did
said
you?
it would qualify. Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Okay, other questions? Okay, so this is for the public institutions, and if any of you are planning to apply to the CSU now, I have these cards that you can pick up on your way out, but basically it tells you the website that you would apply to for the university. Remember, you're going to have to go to the individual nursing website in order for you to get the nursing application for that specific school. So, for counseling, just want to tell you I'm not the nursing counselor. There's many of us on staff that can work with you. Some of my colleagues actually, Jamie Bailey and Dennis Frankel, for example, worked at LMC or CCC, so they're used to working with students who are interested in those nursing programs. You certainly can come in and see me too. To schedule a counseling appointment, that's our appointment phone number. But now we started where you can actually register or schedule a counseling appointment online. So you can book your own appointment. So if you go to our counseling website, and in the left margin you'll see make an appointment. If you click on that, you can just make your own appointment. So you don't even have to call. So that's kind of what I have to share with you. Did I sort of answer most of your questions?
Well, would you recommend that we're doing counseling appointments, make it with one of those individually decided?
You can make it really with pretty much any of our counselors, particularly if you're in the beginning. If you're at the end, then you may want to schedule with me. You can schedule with me, probably Merv is a good person to schedule with. Kate is probably good. Carol is probably good, to make sure that you're sort of on track. I think the key for you is to come in and don't wait till the schedule is out to come in. Really good times to see us in counseling. Usually September, early October is a really good time to come in. Now students are starting to panic because they're applying to the universities and they know that enrollment's restricted. So we're starting to really speed up with the appointments. March is an excellent time. If you can come in usually by the next week because we have so many open appointments in March for some reason.
Have you heard of hospitals that have, while you're doing your MA degree and then you're volunteering in a hospital, you can apply to their scholarships and get their PAs while you're working in them? They have special programs for that, right?
They do, and what's nice is, there are some hospitals that will pay for your education if you happen to be working there. So, that would be sort of what they call tuition reimbursement. It'd be great if, I think Kaiser's got a program that does that. So